Alright, YouTube, what's going on? So today is kind of a crappy day. It's it's raining, so we're really not going to be able to run anything today. So what I thought we would do is go ahead and finish breaking in the last two tanks on the Techno with the Novorossy Rex Legend. We need to do some RPM tanks on it. Shout out to Family Affair. Bro, I really appreciate you. The pipe and the header came yesterday. Before it started raining, I actually ran the combo that you sent me, and I like it. But I was doing some research on, I like to read some of the threads, the Nitro threads, like RC. I think it's RC Talk and some other ones going on. There were really interesting threads between Neil Smith at TNS and another guy. I'm not sure who he was, but it was very interesting. And, Neil has a dyno, so they were dynoing a lot of the different pipes and header combinations. Granted, this was 2015, I think. And the 9901, which is this one, the one that you sent me, and the 41001 is the combination on a stock .28 that made the most power output all around, power output. So I'm going to go ahead and try that. That's why it's on here like this. We're going to try this once we get this finished breaking in. We're going to run this combo on it and see where we're at. They also had a lot of very interesting, they were talking about engine modding versus head shimming, lowering the height of the deck on it. And from what he said, from what Neil said from TNS, you have to be very careful. A lot of engine modders are modding these engines, and you're not getting, you're actually losing overall power when you're modding the engine. So I don't know what that's all about. I did another video earlier, but I put the wrong link up there, so I went ahead and pulled that video down. I probably could have just edited it, but I didn't like it. Didn't like the video, so I pulled it down. But that's what you get for doing videos at 2:30 in the morning. But anyway, what Neil was saying was you're going to probably have more power with a stock engine by doing your shimming, by adjusting the height of your deck, your head button. The distance between the piston, top of the piston head to the bowl where the burn chamber is. So I'm probably going to start messing around with some shimming. It's a good idea, guys, to have a digital caliper if you're going to do any shimming at all. Right there. I mean, you can't even do it without that. So also, guys, we're going to be running this is what I ran the combo in from you Family Affair, the LRP .32, and it was a beast. But I went ahead and put everything back on and put it here in the buggy. So once it does dry up, we'll do another run with the LRP. I want to continue to try to tune it. I was having some issues tuning it the other day. Found out some information on it. My carburetor was not tight, so it was moving. So I don't know if that had anything to do with it or not. And there was something else. It was on the Techno. The clunk had come off. I don't know if y'all guys remember a couple of videos ago. The clunk had come off here in the tank. So apparently that's a factory default on there. And I think there is a new revised tank for the NT 48.3. So I'm going to check that out as well. But anyway, so what they were saying was that by adjusting the head shims, by adjusting the height of the deck, you can probably have a stock engine is going to provide more power than a modded engine. I have a hard time believing that, but apparently what he said, when they're smoothing out and extending the fangs on the sleeve and things like that, yes, you're going to have a difference of power. It's going to feel different, but overall, he said he guaranteed he could put a stock engine with an adjusted deck, with adjusted height on the deck, against a modded engine, any modded engine, and your dyno is going to show more power on the stock engine. So I'm going to put the right link up there. When y'all look at that post, you have to really scroll down quite a ways. They're talking about different pipes and setups, and they're doing dynos. You're going to have to scroll down quite a ways to see where he's actually talking about that. It's pretty close to the end of the thread, but he did say it. So apparently a stock engine can be more powerful than a modded engine if you find the right deck height on it, and you do that through your shimming. So I'm going to start researching my shimming and try to start doing some of that if I can. Don't get me wrong, I'm still going to get a modded engine from RCR. Some people have downed RCR, said they're no good. And I'm going to give both of them a chance. We'll get the Rex Legend from RCR here in a couple of weeks. And then I'm going to have Rick do something for me as well. You guys know I have that P5 coming. It should be here any day. Although A-Main is really dropping the ball on their delivery. The package that I sent to Family Affair, it took exactly 1 week from door to door on that shipping, and that's just too long, people. 7 days. I mean, I'm not considering a week 4 or 5 days. I'm saying it took 7 actual days to get that package to Family Affair's door. So, also Family Affair, I'm not mad at you, bro. You do what you got to do, man. I'm just not into it as far as that other guy. So, whatever's clever, man. Anyway, so we're going to be running this is the OS 2090 pipe and header with the OS Drake. That's going to be the next setup on here. Also, and you know what, on that Muggy thing, man, I could let bygones be bygones. His videos are coming out a little better now. He's not downing people. My intention from the very beginning was the fact that he talked down to people and he belittled and demeaned people. Well, he's not doing that anymore, and part of the reason he's not really doing that anymore because I was banging his head about it. You know, so if anything, you know, the Muggy should maybe apologize to me, but I mean, I don't give a shit. Screw that dude. I tried 3 times to make amends with him, and to no avail. So evidently he likes the controversy, and he you know, he doesn't want to accept my apology, which is cool. I don't need that. You know, I watch his videos from time to time, get what I can out of them, and that'll be about it. If that dude doesn't want to accept my apology, then that's on him for sure. So, but to each his own. So anyway, the reason I brought the Muggy up is because he was talking about putting the MBX7T tank here in the Mugen, and there's definitely enough room. My hobby shop has an MBX6T tank, and I'm wondering if that would fit as well. That way I don't have to wait the 7 days for A-Main to deliver it to me. I may stop by there today and pick that up. There's plenty of room in here. I think you do have to adjust, like Muggy said, the post here on this one, make a little bracket over. But anyway, once that P5 gets here, guys, we'll break it in. This is going to be my setup here for when I start practicing racing. I was going to go today, but as you see, the weather's kind of screwed up. If you guys go back and look, Google Radio Control Headquarters, YouTube, they'll pull up. They had some pretty cool races out there on their track. You guys can check it out. That's the track that I'm going to be practicing on. But anyway, between the Adam Drake and the Novorossi P5, we'll get out there on the track. I still need to get some new tires, some track tires for the buggy and for my truggy over there. Alright guys, so you can see that I got the LST out. I'm in the process of pulling the tires off of it, and I'm going to finish breaking in. This is the Dynamite .28 that came on the 8T, which on the 8T, guys, I'm waiting on a Losi clutch nut. I ordered 3 of them to have some backup ones. It's pretty much all I've run are the Losi clutches or my 3-shoe clutches, but I had a clutch nut in my box for it, but there was something wrong with the thread, so I didn't want to force it on there, so we just ordered some more. And this is the 9886 with the 41001 super strong 9886. Oh, one other thing, guys, I wanted to show y'all real quick. So we're going to fire this up here in a few minutes. I'll fire it up on camera. We're also going to fire this one up. I might do them at the same time. I don't suggest doing it at the same time, but I can, so I'm going to do it. And this is the LST2, by the way. Check this out. Let's see how this came out. So I had a top pipe and header that came with it came with my VZB OS, and I'm actually going to be building another one of these guys over the next couple of weeks. It was a top, I'll show you in a minute, a top pipe and a 41001 header. I think this is the 001 header. It's one of the original ones. It doesn't have the ribs on it right here. So that's one of the original 41001s. But I took Don Foss's advice. The pipe was all beat up. Let's see how it came out, man. I sealed it up and I put it in the freezer to try and get some of these dents out. And it looks like it worked pretty damn good. Took a lot of the little dents out for sure. Still got, and it's not even as bad, the one here where the stinger was. I mean, there's still a few in here, but it's nowhere near as bad as it was. So I'll let this bad boy thaw out, and then I'm going to polish it up real good. And I don't know what the actual number is on it, but it's very faded, but it says on their top, and I know top is a Novorossi brand. So this is another Novorossi pipe. I don't know which one it is. Might be a 9901. Very similar pipe there. So it's frozen. It's full of water and it's frozen. Shout out Don Foss. I appreciate that information. It worked pretty well, man. The only issue was there where the stinger is, and I can probably pull on that this way. That's what I did on my 9886. If you guys get these pipes, man, you're gonna spend the money on it. We're bashers. We beat our stuff up. Get the super strong for sure. Still got a few little indentions here, but nothing like it was, man. There were dents all in here. All right. Get it thawed out, and maybe we'll polish it up and give it a rip. Old school Novorossi top. Alright guys, so here in a few minutes we'll go ahead and fire these bad boys up. I'll show you guys how I start up my pull start engines. This is a pull start. You can only do pull start or roto start on the LSTs, and these do run dual servos. This LST has aluminum. Both of my LSTs have aluminum diff housings, and this one has the aluminum maximizer diff cups in it. So just in the diffs alone on this truck, you're looking at about $140, and that doesn't include the gears and everything. That's just the housings, the diff housing and the diff cups. About $130, $140 invested in this. And this is another one that I built from the ground up. All it was a chassis. And the guy had painted the chassis blue, and when I started rebuilding it, I replaced a lot of the parts black, and I should have done that. I've got a whole box down there of LST parts, everything you can need. I have chassis. I could build probably 2 more LSTs. So, and this is the one that I've rebuilt the transmission in. If y'all remember, I ordered that gear. I had to get it from Australia because there were none here in the United States. So for a $7 gear, I paid like $35. So, alright guys, let me get that done and we'll get these fired up. I'm going to put a link to that thread with Neil from TNS back in 2000, I think it's 15. You guys check it out. There's a lot of good information. They're talking a lot about these LSTs too. It's back when they were, you know, putting the Novorossis in them and stuff like that, but using the conical Novorossi on-road header with the 9886 pipes. And it was badass. It was pulling out a lot more torque. I think Mr. Bodegel, his LST was set up like that. Or he might have had that. It's a conical on-road Novorossi. It doesn't have the roller coaster. It comes out a bit, but it's enough to where you could put the pipe. So you had to have these roller coaster style headers on these LSTs because the engines turn. But the way that Novorossi pipe was set up, it was, I forget what number it was. I can look it up. But I think he might have been running the 086 with the Novorossi conical. Anyway. So I'll put a link to that thread in the video, and you guys can check out some older threads from Neil at the Nitro shop, TNS. A lot of pipe talk, a lot of engine talks, pretty cool stuff. Also, by the way, guys, shout out Bones Brew, shout out to Raja. We appreciate you doing the interview with Brent. I had been talking to Brent for 2 or 3 weeks prior to that interview. I knew about the interview prior to it being done, just through my talks with Brent. So I had a small hand in trying to get him. I was trying to convince him to do the interview with Raja. Obviously, Raja set everything up, but he wasn't sure. Brent was asking for a lot of things from me. I was giving him a lot of inside information, things like that, so he could make a decision on what he needed to do. But in my last video, I said newbie, since we weren't sure about the percentage of caster and stuff in the Bones Brew to use the Byrons. All that's been cleared up, which I already knew it was, but just to save face, that's why I was saying that. So I recommend the Bones Brew 30-10 for bashing, 38 for racing, or either, you know, 30-10 for racing too if you want. But I recommend the Bones to everybody, newbies, whoever needs nitro fuel, get you some Bones, man. It's about $18 a gallon cheaper than the Byrons, and it's just as good with a 50-50 caster synthetic package. So shout out Bones Brew, shout out Raja. We appreciate you doing the interview and clearing that up, which I already knew just from my talks with Brent. But there you go, people. Bones Brew, badass, more affordable. You guys have another option. So, alright guys, let me get this thing set up. I see some sunshine, so we might be able to do some ripping here in a little while. But I'll get the .28 fired up so we can finish breaking it in. I'll show you guys how I start up and break in my pull start engines. So, alright guys, until then, we'll see y'all in a minute.